The tuition cost discussion continues at an Ohio University Board of Trustees meeting today. Good evening, I'm Caitlin Marshall. Thanks for joining us. The OU Board of Trustees have a plan to cut costs. Their proposal asks students to complete their degree in 3 years. WOUB reporter Blaine Caraher was at the meeting today. Blaine, was there a pushback to the board's proposal?
Well, yeah, there was one student group there and they were picketing and protesting and they had a wide range of concerns, but tuition was definitely at the forefront. Picketers lined the doors of the Ohio University Board of Trustees meeting this morning.
We have no real say in anything that they're doing.
The student union is an activist group on OU's campus. These activists think education should come at no cost to students.
Like, why the hell are we paying this much money?
This summer, Governor John Kasich signed House Bill 64 into effect. The bill challenges universities in Ohio to cut tuition costs by 5%.
We're 110% committed to trying to deal with affordability and accessibility.
Today, the Ohio University Board of Trustees submitted their plan aligned with House Bill 64.
We have created the opportunity for more students to finish their academic programs in 3 years, and that's in the spirit of the 5% Senate challenge.
The board says only 46% of programs at OU allow for this 3-year track to graduation.
We're not going to require people to graduate in 3 years. We're not going to require people to graduate in 4 years. There's a lot of choice and options that every student has to decide on his or her own. But we want to create the opportunities for an affordable education if students so choose.
So as you just heard there, the proposal, it is not required of students, but the Board of Trustees, they say that students who choose to study abroad or take a double major, they will have to pay more. Caitlin?
Blaine, we invite you to conversations. Tell us what you think about the board's plan to lower tuition costs by encouraging students to graduate in 3 years. Visit our Facebook page or woub.org. A low high school sophomore could be facing serious disciplinary actions that another student had brought a gun to school. The student had actually brought an airsoft pistol with him that day. Now the student faces a 10-day suspension with a recommendation for expulsion. The teen will also face charges of disorderly conduct. There have been more than 50 school shootings in 2015 alone. The Small Business Association is giving Appalachian, Ohio $500,000 to enhance its wood products industry. The Apple Cluster is one of 3 groups to receive the award. The sector not only includes wood furniture manufacturing, but also veneer and plywood manufacturing, flooring, and engineered wood manufacturing. Michelle Decker, CEO of Rural Action, says they'll be working with small businesses, craftsmen, farmers, and timber harvesters. Athens drivers may have a tough time parking in the coming weeks. The City of Athens Municipal Parking Garage is undergoing construction until the end of this month. The entire parking garage closed today. The basement, where drivers pay for monthly parking passes, will only be closed through Monday. The rest of the garage will open floors 1 through 3 open the 27th, and the top 3 floors will open the 3rd of October. Officials say the garage has to close to allow contractors to treat the floors and ceilings. A coating has to be applied in temperatures above 40 degrees. City officials say they don't want to risk missing this temperature window in 2015.
Welcome to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Ann Campolongo. So we had another cool day out there. A cold front passed earlier this morning, and if you were outside today, you know it felt a little bit cooler than we saw yesterday. Temperatures today only reached the lower 60s. 62 was our official high in Athens today. 59 right now outside in Athens. We have a west wind at 13 miles per hour and a beautiful sunset on our tower came out there, but things will change tonight. You'll definitely be able to feel that cooler push of Arctic air this evening if you're headed out tonight into Friday night football events outside, any soccer practices. It will be cooler tonight, and things will be cooling down dramatically as we have a frost advisory tonight is likely. So frost is likely this evening, Friday night. So if you do have plants outside, definitely bring them inside tonight. Vegetation will likely frost tonight as temperatures dip down into the lower 30s. As we take a look at your hour by hour for this evening, we'll drop down into the 40s by midnight, and then the lower 40s by 2 and 3 o'clock tomorrow morning. So partly cloudy skies this evening. things will be cool. So Caitlin, if you are headed out to Friday Night Football, definitely bundle up. It will be a cool one out there. At least we don't have any rain though, so just cooler temperatures, very fall-like this weekend.
All right, thanks, Ann. A Logan man will serve an extra 3 years in prison. The Logan Daily News reports Timothy Wendell was sentenced to 23 years in prison on drug-related charges in Hocking County. On Tuesday, Wendell entered a no-contest plea to multiple additional drug-related charges in Athens County. Wendell was originally scheduled for a jury trial next week in Athens County. Issue 1 on the Athens ballot this November would revamp how Ohio draws legislative districts and who represents residents at the State House. It's a top issue on the ballot, but not receiving much attention. State representatives say this is because the effort lacks funding to promote the proposal to voters. But there is no organized opposition, and state representatives do believe it will still pass. The annual Bridge Day Festival will be jumping off tomorrow. Thrill seekers from around the globe will be in Fayetteville, West Virginia. Tomorrow is the one day a year where it's legal to jump off the 876-foot-high bridge over the New River Gorge. The bridge is the third highest bridge in the United States. More than 80,000 people are expected to jump off the bridge tomorrow. Coming up next, will Vice President Joe Biden run for the 2016 presidency? We have his latest comments on the topic and how his bid would affect the candidates. Stay tuned when Newswatch returns.
I decided to do a planned gift because I want to ensure that PBS will be around for my grandchildren and hopefully great-grandchildren. I would hope that others, when doing their estate planning, would include their PBS station. My PBS station is part of my community. That's something I really value.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
We may learn in the coming days whether Vice President Joe Biden will seek the Democratic presidential nomination. His family is reportedly completely on board with a White House bid at this point. CNN's Jeff Zeleny has the latest.
Have you made your decision yet?
Can't hear you. As Vice President Joe Biden continues to evade the big question, this morning it appears he's closer to answering that.
Is there still an opening for you in the race, sir?
Tell you what. Good to see you all.
Sources telling CNN that Biden's family supports a presidential run. The vice president personally making calls this week to Democratic strategists from Iowa, New Hampshire, and South Carolina. The conversation how, not whether, he'll launch a campaign.
With the stature he would bring to the race, the minute he got in the race, the entire narrative would change, and we start talking about the first debate in Iowa in November.
New this morning, a look inside Biden's possible 2016 run. A close advisor to Biden, former Delaware Senator Ted Kaufman, sent an email obtained by CNN to his former staffers asking for their help if the vice president decides to run. In it, Kaufman says it will be a campaign from the heart, a campaign consistent with his values, our values, and the values of the American people. Kaufman went on to say if he runs, he'll run because of his burning conviction that we need to fundamentally change the balance of our economy and the political structure to restore the ability of the middle class to get ahead. Kaufman also writing in the email, Biden believes we must win this election, or in the hands of the Republicans, everything that he and the president have worked for and care about is at stake. Friends of Biden who've spoken to him say he's not afraid to lose, even in the wake of a strong debate performance this week by Hillary Clinton and Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders.
Hey, how are you? Nice to see you.
The vice president has asked several Democratic strategists in early states to work for him if he decides to run. Fundraisers and supporters are also waiting in the wings to join his campaign if he moves forward.
The next Democratic debate is on Saturday, November 14th. The candidates who will be a part of this debate have not yet been announced, so if Biden ends up running, we could see him in a debate as early as then. A promised $40,000 pledge to help a Utah teen fight cancer was too good to be true. The promise was a fake, and now her shocked family is trying to figure out how to pay a huge hospital bill they thought was covered. Caroline Connolly reports.
It was a gesture that caught the Gold family by surprise.
In the amount of $40,000.
An anonymous donation to help 15-year-old Alexis with her fight against brain cancer. But then, another surprise came a couple weeks later.
This wasn't real. It didn't happen. We're not sure the motivation.
When Emily Gold learned the $40,000 donation didn't actually exist.
I would like to believe that at some point this man thought that it was going to happen, and then maybe it fell through.
The Golds were told the money was donated by a local businessman who was supposed to be sending over a check to Primary Children's Hospital.
It looked as if he said he had just basically prepaid Lexi's account by $40,000.
But as treatments for Alexis began, it became evident that there was no account to charge.
It's just not there.
For the Golds, it was a setback, but not one they're dwelling on now.
I've adopted a saying where, sadness has its time, and when it comes, we give it its time, but we never stay there, we move on. And that's what we've done with this.
Alexis strong!
Instead, they're focusing on Alexis's recovery and what that's brought so far.
Part of the reason for our emotion was not just a $40,000 donation. It was the entire night.
While one donation may have fallen through, to their surprise, they received countless others from their community.
It was all of the little things that have been done up to that night and have been done since. That really, that's what has meant the most to us.
Alexis's family has set up a GoFundMe page to help raise money for her treatments. On Wall Street today, stocks closed higher for the third straight week as analysts waited for expected tax rate hikes. Here's a look at stocks of local interest. There's a new technique that could treat both ADHD and anxiety, and it's non-invasive and doesn't involve drugs. It's called brain training, and we've got the details in today's Health Minute coming up next.
And a blast of cold air is on our doorstep. I'll let you know how cold temperatures are going to dip this weekend and if we'll see any frost or freezing over the weekend. All that plus your 7-day forecast coming up next on Newswatch.
I support one student in college with a scholarship. Just the way I want to pass on a legacy of education. I would like to pass PBS on to the next generation. I like to think that PBS is concerned with our soul. If your soul is in the right place, you're giving back.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
Welcome back to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Ann Campolongo. So today in Athens, we did have cooler temperatures than we saw yesterday. Temperatures only reaching the lower 60s for most of us, but right now we're all mostly in the upper 50s, still lower 60s for some of us, 61 over in Chillicothe, 59 over in Jackson, and 59 right here in Athens. So it is Friday night football time, so if you are headed out to watch any of the local games, it is going to be a chilly night out there, 50 degrees for you at kickoff. We'll see partly cloudy skies this evening and winds out of the northwest at 0 to 5 miles per hour. But definitely bring the jacket if you're headed out, the blankets if you're sitting in the stands to cheer on the teams. It will be a little bit chilly out there. Right now in Athens, though, we're at 59 degrees. Again, winds out of the west at 13. It was a little breezy out there, gusts up to 17 miles per hour this afternoon. For our almanac, our high today was lower than we saw yesterday. 62 was our official high. A little bit lower than normal for this time of year, and definitely things are going to cool down this weekend. Definitely see a change in the temperatures for Saturday and Sunday. Precipicast showing us again that cold front that swept through the region earlier this morning. Didn't bring with it any precipitation really, but we're going to see the effects of that cold front later tonight into Saturday and Sunday as temperatures drop dramatically for your weekend. So a very fall-like weekend coming up, and we do have a frost advisory in effect for majority of the Midwest, including all of southeastern Ohio for tonight. So that means there is a possibility for frost. So if you have plants outside, any vegetation, make sure to bring that in tonight. Canadian high pressure is off to our west. That'll slowly slide in tomorrow. So for your Saturday, things will be dry and sunny, just a lot cooler than we've seen this past week. So temperatures tomorrow only reaching the lower 50s for you. Temperatures tonight, though, again, dramatically cooler, and it's been a while since we've seen the 30s widespread across the map, but most of us seeing 30s tonight for a low, 33 the low tonight in Athens. But as we take a look at the timeline for tomorrow, here's how your Saturday plays out. Chilly start at 9 a.m. will be only at 38 degrees, then by noon, 46. Again, a cool day for your Saturday, and then by 3 p.m. only at 50 degrees. So we'll have to bring out the jackets for you if you have any outdoor plans for your Saturday. Temperatures tomorrow across the region, though, 50s for most of us, lower 50s, 52 here in Athens, as well as Marietta, 48 only in New Martinsville, and 48 tomorrow, the high up in Cambridge. So cooler temperatures for this weekend as that Canadian high pressure builds in for the rest of your weekend. There is a frost advisory for the Athens area tonight and all of southeastern Ohio. 33 will be our low. Cold and partly cloudy this evening. For tomorrow, we will reach a high of 52 degrees. Again, cooler, partly cloudy skies for you tomorrow. A freeze watch is in effect for your Saturday night. So again, temperatures will be right around freezing or even below freezing for Saturday night into Sunday morning, as well as Sunday night into Monday morning. So a cool couple of nights as we head out to look at our 7-day forecast. Definitely bundle up and get out the flannel sheets because you might need them this weekend. Saturday looks to be nice but cool, 52, 53 for you on Sunday. Again, freeze chances for the morning of Saturday and Sunday into Monday, as well as temperatures dip down right around freezing, even below freezing. We might reach the upper 20s. So definitely cooler this weekend. It's going to feel like fall as that cold air gets here. Monday only highs reaching up a little bit warmer than this weekend into the lower 60s, but still temperatures dropping into the low 30s for Monday night, and then we'll see a stretch of dry weather Our next chance of rain doesn't come until Thursday as temperatures finally creep back up by the middle of the work week next week. Caitlin, back to you.
Thanks, Anne. Brain training or neurofeedback has been around for a long time. Now, new technology and research on its effectiveness have created new interest in the field. Patients are using neurofeedback instead of medications to help with a variety of conditions, from migraines and stress to severe anxiety. Linda Ciampa explains how it works in today's Health Minute.
Anita Kite refers to herself as a brain trainer. She uses a computer program that helps clients like Vicky shift their thinking into more functional patterns.
Can we show the brain a mirror of itself and provide it with feedback that gives it subtle cues, either auditorily or visually or both, that allows it to essentially sort of self-correct?
Pediatrician Naomi Steiner uses attention training neurofeedback to help children focus. Dr. Steiner explains when electrodes in this helmet sense concentrating brain waves, the computer rewards the child by moving a dolphin to the bottom of the screen. That positive feedback, she says, trains the brain to focus, something that's not easy for everyone.
It's the difference between just flipping the switch in your brain and having a lever that you really have to push down. It's not automatic and it's really difficult.
In a study published in the journal Pediatrics, Steiner showed neurofeedback helps children with ADHD increase attention, decrease activity level, decrease impulsivity, and increase executive function.
Executive functions is how you plan things, how you get yourself organized, your time management, making sure that what has to be done basically is done.
I'm Linda Ciampa for CNN.
Welcome to sports. I'm Anthony Alaco. Last night, one team grabbed the final spot in the National League Championship Series, set to start tomorrow. I'll have that story, plus one of the biggest high school football games of the night comes out of the NBL, where Sheridan plays host to the invading Tri-Valley Scotties. All that and more when Newswatch Sports takes over. Stay tuned to WOUB. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
My granddaughter is named June Elizabeth, but I call her Junebug. My hope is to teach her about kindness and about the love of animals and nature. I want Junebug to have the same opportunities I had by watching PBS. My husband and I feel so strongly about our PBS station that we've included them in our estate plan. PBS is part of our values, and we want to pass it on to the next generation.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open. You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
Second episode of the Bobcat Sports Showcase airs tonight at 11 on WOUB. They talk football and baseball, plus a whole lot more. Live from the newsroom with the best stories of Bobcat athletics, Showcase host Abby Carnevale has more. Abby?
Thanks, Anthony. We've been working hard all month to give you guys at home the best insight on Ohio athletics, and we've done just that with a few pieces analyzing what makes the Bobcats successful this year. We start out with a piece breaking down one of the best Division I volleyball programs in the country, along with younger players nearing records just like Meredith Ashe and Abby Gilliland. We've also done a little digging into what the Stars are doing off the field with running back Daz Patterson's action plan and his community progress, along with a religious group, Athletes in Action, and their new house on campus. So cozy up on your couch until 11 p.m. tonight, and you can join me right here on WOUB, and we'll give you everything there is to know about Ohio athletics. Back to you, Anthony.
Taking things down from the collegiate level, high school football is back on the field tonight. As the season winds down, this week's games all over the state have high playoff implications. One conference features a matchup that affects not only playoffs, but also could decide a conference title. Only 2 MVL teams remain undefeated in conference play, and they meet tonight in Thornville as Sheridan squares off against Tri-Valley. The Scotties look to improve to 7-1 on the season and defend their conference title from a year ago. The Generals enter the matchup following a come-from-behind victory over Philo a week ago. The Tri-Valley defense has allowed just 6 points in conference play thus far, but will be faced with the tough task of stopping Sheridan running back Derek Gross. That game kicks off from Sheridan High School tonight at 7. The Ohio Bobcats have a packed day across 3 sports tomorrow for their Bobcat Blackout Saturday. The Ohio football team kicks off the day at noon, hosting the Western Michigan Broncos. The Bobcats enter the game atop the Eastern Division of the Mid-American Conference at 5-1, while Western Michigan sits at 2-3. Preseason basketball highlights the middle of the day, featuring both the men's and women's teams. The event will feature a 3-point shooting contest and a men's team scrimmage to round out the madness. Ohio volleyball looks to keep their 9-game winning streak going against the Toledo Rockets. Sliding over to Major League Baseball, the New York Mets won a close game over the Los Angeles Dodgers to move on to the NLCS. Leading the way for the Mets was Daniel Murphy, who was 3 for 4 with 2 runs scored and 2 RBIs. Murphy's double in the top of the first knocked in a run, but the Dodgers responded with 2 of their own in the bottom of that frame. After scoring in the 4th and 6th innings, the Mets bullpen shut the door and held on for a 3-2 victory. Jairus Familia retired, 6 consecutive Dodgers to pick up the save. The Mets move on to face the Chicago Cubs in New York tomorrow night. From the diamond to the gridiron we go, where Drew Brees and the struggling New Orleans Saints were able to hand the Atlanta Falcons their first loss of the season. The Saints jumped out to an early 14-0 lead in the first quarter and stayed ahead the remainder of the game, winning 31-21. Brees was on fire, going 30 for 39 with 312 yards and a touchdown. 0 interception also highlighted Brees' stat line, and his main target was tight end Benjamin Watson, who reeled in 10 grabs and 127 yards with 1 touchdown. The Saints will play the Indianapolis Colts on October 25th, and Atlanta's next game is that same night in Tennessee. I'm Anthony Lacco, and that's it for sports. Back to you, Caitlin.
And tonight in Athens, we'll be at 32 degrees tonight, cold and partly cloudy skies. Taking a look at tomorrow, 52, cooler and partly cloudy. As you take a look at your 7-day forecast, though, temperatures dropping dramatically for the weekend. Highs only in the 50s with lows in the upper 20s.
And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks, Ann, and thanks for watching. I'm Caitlin Marshall. Stay tuned to the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime online at WOUB.org. Have a great night.
Decided to do a planned gift because I want to ensure that PBS will be around for my grandchildren and hopefully great-grandchildren. I would hope that others, when doing their estate planning, would include their PBS station. My PBS station is part of my community. That's something I really value.